Next presenter is me. So may I start? I will talk about care and Asian familialism reconsidered. Next slide, please. Next one, please. I volunteered to be the editor of the part on care because I was irritated by the papers that start from these kind of sentences. The care needs of the elderly, sick, or disabled, as well as children, were traditionally met within the family. Within the family, it was mostly female family members who provided care. And if that paper is about Asia, the authors usually added, particularly in Asia. I doubted this kind of statement. So I want to collect the articles writing about care in Asia and question Asian familialism. And I also wanted to see the concepts of care and familial care referring to the same thing or in different cultural and historical contexts. Next, please. The care part has 10 chapters. 2 are on history and 5 are about familial care and 3 are on non-familial care in contemporary Asia. We have very limited number of historical papers, and both of them are on Japan because the historical study of caregiving, well, kind of social history, is not so well developed in many countries. Next, please. I'm going to talk about 2 chapters among them. The first one is chapter 38, Birth and Child Care in Early Modern Japan. So this is a historical study. It's about caring men in Japanese history. Maybe you remember the talk by Patricia Uberoy and Tanette Wonyanova about Japanese men's homosexuality, which contradict the idea of Japanese masculine man in the history. Maybe this one is another example. The author, Mashita Machiko, uses a samurai father's diary from the 19th century to show how his fathering was warm and loving. Fathers provided care that could be termed motherly in its physical, emotional, and intimate nature. It's also interesting that this was permitted by their workplace. We don't see strict divisions between the public and private spheres. And samurai were also allowed to take care leaves from their for their old parents. This is written by another author. So next, please. Shall we look at the part of the diary from that samurai father? He was writing like this. I left at about 4 in the afternoon for night duty. Roku, the name of the daughter. Roku came along after 6 with her pillow, and a little while later, after warming her futon, I put her to sleep before me. After 11 or so, I took her to the toilet and then went to bed with her in my arms. It was very cold tonight, So we snuggled up to each other and slept well. How sweet. At about 1, she woke up to use the toilet. After acquiring smallpox, the frequency of using the toilet increased. So I was very worried. She might wet herself in the office. So this is an example of motherly kind of care by samurai father. Next, please. And we also have the testimonies by European visitors to Japan before and after Meiji Restoration. They remarked on how Japanese men, from physical laborers to samurai, were very indulgent with their children. They expressed surprise at the fact that the fathers didn't beat their children, as was common practice in Europe at the time. Next, please. So these are the pictures of samurai fathers and laborer fathers at the end of Tokugawa period. So there are so many men who are taking care of their kids in the street too. So the idea that care was the domain of women was established after the Meiji Restoration, when the division of the spheres began as Japan, when the division of the spheres began as Japan started modernization, in other words, westernization. The fact that the feminization of care work started in the modern era is evident in Japan. Next, please. The second chapter I want to talk about is the Tagasalo or Mananalo syndrome, written by a Filipino author. It's about elder sister's responsibility. This chapter on the Philippines reverses the preconception that familial care is intergenerational, from parents to child or from child to parent. Elder sisters have a heavy responsibility in caring for their younger siblings, as well as economically supporting the family. On the other hand, elder sisters suffer psychologically from the pressures of the burdens. Next, please. Societies where elder sisters have a heavy responsibility are widely found in Southeast Asia and Oceania. Okinawa, now a part of Japan, is another society of this kind. For brothers, sisters are considered to be guardian angels spiritually. Children without elder sisters may treat girls in the neighborhood as alo sisters because it was really necessary to have elder sister to take care of you. Japan historically transformed from a society where this type of sibling was the basic unit to the one where the husband and wife are. As I said in my first presentation, Japan belonged to the Southeast Asian tradition, bilateral kinship structure and strong ties between siblings. But Japan transformed from this type of society to a different one, partially by the influence from China and later by modernization. Next, please. And non-parental care of children is found in Asia, past and present. In addition to, so the care by elder sister is not only one, not the only example. Another example of non-parental care is employment of domestic workers. This is a photo from Japan, 100 years ago, and another one is from Taiwan, 10 years ago. So commodification of care is not new at all. Next, please. And there are more examples of non-parental care of children in Asia. Another one is skipped generation household. Without the middle generation, the parents' generation. This is found in the houses of migrant workers in Thailand, Myanmar, but the Philippines and China, but also in Chinese cities. So in the Chinese cities, even the families which are sending out migrant workers doing this. So grandparents receive economic compensation from their children sometimes. And another example of non-parental care is by temples in Thailand and Japan. And charity institutions existed in late Qing China. So there were various kinds of non-parental care of children. Next, please. So this is the summary. Asian familialism is a myth in history and about contemporary Asia. These two diagrams show you the various kinds of care given by different sectors, including the state, market, community, family, and kin in the past and now. So as you see, Asian people are receiving care from various sectors. So, so Asian familialism is a myth. So thank you very much. This is the end of my presentation.